Very good evening to everyone. Welcome to the weekly video that we analyze Singapore stocks and some US counter. And without further ado, let's take a look at the chart right now. So let's start off with the Singapore Straits Times Index. So as you can see today, we had some pullback after a strong rally for certain counters. Counters like Singtel, Sembcorp Industry have rallied strongly, and our bank has been holding up quite well. So that constitute to a rally yesterday. But there's some profit taking on some counters, like for example Singtel, that resulted in some pullback. Okay, so what are the key levels to look out for? Now, with this pullback, there's some concern for us is that where STI would land. So if STI continue to pull back lower to hit 3160, that will form a lower high and a topish pattern, which may result in more downward movement if STI breaks below that 3160 support level. If STI doesn't hit 3160 and continue to move higher to 3222 resistance, then the outlook will look more bullish, and a breakout from it may help to continue or start a new uptrend. So it is these are the key levels to look out for STI going forward. So let's look at some of the sector that move up or down. Okay, so first let's look at DBS. So we are looking at DBS as I explained last week that the counter was doing relatively well over here, and we hope that it can continue to move up as what the candle suggests. As you can see for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 days, we see that DBS has been going up, but it hasn't tested its resistance as yet. So anything can happen from here right now. So we want to see for the next few days if we can test 29.33, then we can see more bullish momentum. OCBC, as mentioned, tested its resistance at 1196 and attempt to break out from it, as you can see from both of these two candles. But unfortunately, both attempts fail. So it could mean that this resistance is very strong, as I highlighted last week as well. You can see it has been tested 3 times, and all attempts to break out fail. So it becomes stronger as the past 2 candles fail to break the level. So does that mean that this resistance cannot be broken? Well, it can still break if there is a momentum coming in, but if you can't, right, because if you look at these 2 candles, okay, the chances, so we're talking about chances over here. So what are the chances that you can break up? What are the chances that it may pull back and then go up, back up again? If you look at these 2 candles, these 2 candles are not very bullish candle. In fact, when it's at the resistance, it looks more bearish than bullish. So if the thing become bearish, so we shall watch for support level as mentioned last week from 1170 to 1175 is the major support, or is a support zone. Now it extended to 1178. So this 1170 to 1178 becomes a support zone for OCBC. So what we need to see if it's pulling back. Okay, the candle should look like here. Right, pullbacks over here. If it's breaking up, it must close above, then it's considered strong. Okay, so watch out for the next few candles for OCBC. For UOB, also attempted to break out today, fairly strong in the morning, but towards the end of the day, it started to lose its power. It closed just 1 bit above its resistance, marginally broke out, but the long upper shadow suggested uncertainty. So as I mentioned last week, that there is a lot of uncertain candles with higher opening and lower closing, but eventually it managed to iron it out and then close with some white candles for the past 3 days, and today tried to break out, but it didn't manage to break out very cleanly. So it just have a bit of closing. So the key to the next movement is that whether the market sees this as a sign of selling or sign of weakness and decided to pull back lower. Okay, so if so, the three banks, in fact, they are well positioned to pull back, because you look at DBS, and the candle doesn't look very bullish with higher opening and lower closing. Pulling back is almost possible. OCBC, you can see the two bearish candles at the resistance, or rather more uncertain candles at the resistance, and of course with UOB, the long upper shadow suggests uncertainty as well. So all boils down to tomorrow whether we see a black candle. If we have a black candle confirmation, we may see some bearish movement for the next few days. Okay, now talking about bearishness, we have the transport sectors, the SIA. In fact, the airlines are bearish. SIA and SETS has been selling like a hotcake, selling down lower and lower. So what do we see in SIA is that ever since SIA failed breakout over here, you can see the long upper shadow. And this is what we call a shooting star. And the candle confirmation comes in here where you see that the selling volume was pretty high. So this actually is a telltale sign that the stocks may continue to go down. The last draw was when the counter breaks below its support at 550. Especially here, you can see that it breaks with high volume. And this is where this counter continue to move down lower. Now, it comes down to test this support at 508, and we can see that the stocks has fulfilled the projected level. Okay, so why do I say that? Now, if you look closely, you realize that in fact, SIA had a topish hit double top formation, and we have a projected level which is around, let's get a little bit, which is around this level at 525. So yesterday it actually hit, and today it exceeded and went down lower. So what is going to be is that if SIA continue to sell down, tomorrow breaking 508 support, we may see a more selling pressure towards 476 level. Okay, so what constitute to this downward movement? First, we saw a downgrade from one of the analysts from UOB Kay Hian, and then the news about COVID resurgence, where Hong Kong has been blocking flights from India, and more cases detected all over the world has contributed to the selling pressure. So watch for support level. If it breaks, then more downward action may follows. Then we have SETS. So SETS, similar to SIA, had been selling down, and what you are looking at is that the lower high formation constitute to a bearish momentum. Now, what we see here is that when SETS from the bullish RME, right, we expected it to break up above this 442 level. If it can't break, as you can see over here, right, this candle pattern over here suggests uncertainty, and the retest of support level over here, right, becomes a tricky part for the counter where it has a risk of breaking down, and in fact it broke down and the volume surging up. So where it will land to, we have the support level at 409, and what would be the projected level for it to continue go down lower. If it breaks support, the projected level suggests that sets is going to around 397. So this is going to be a tricky moment for the airlines, as SIA and SATS has been going down lower. So is SIA Engineering, as anticipated last week. The counter after the surge, profit taking came in, and then the stocks continue to drift down lower, and it touched or retest its support level at 230. Yesterday, I thought that this hammer would sort of like rescue it, but we need a white candle confirmation, but it failed. And today it continued to drift lower. So this is the testing time where we can see that all these counters, all these three counters has came down to hit support level with SIA Engineering at 230, and then we have SIA at 508 support, and SATS, at this support level where it was a previous resistance. So if this selling continue, the lower support breaks, then we can continue to see more selling pressure for this sector. Okay, so watch for the next few candles, see any rebounds going to happen. Then we're going to talk about this Sembcorp industry, which was highlighted. So as I mentioned, that the support level was key over here as we want to see rebound. And if I were to go to the weekly candle, you can see that the weekly candle turns white, and this in fact helped to ease the selling pressure over here. And Sembcorp industry has went up tremendously, breaking above its $2 resistance, and has gone up to break up above its 217 resistance as well. So the next resistance for Sembcorp industry is going to be 230, and if it continue to move higher, 230 will be probably tested. Okay, so we shall see what is going to happen to Sembcorp industry. So watch for the first selling candle as well. So it may suggest some pullback like this. So it pull back to support level and start to rebound. So let's look out for that. Keppel Corp, unfortunately, yesterday it went to test its resistance, but it could not break out from it. As mentioned last week, 555 is the resistance to watch, and it in fact tested. So it didn't manage to break out from there, and today opened lower and erased off all the gains that it had mastered yesterday. So so what we are looking at is that if this happens, the uptrend is not going to happen, or rather the uptrend is not going to continue as of now, because we don't see a higher high. So what is best for this counter next is probably further consolidation going on over here, and then if it can retest resistance at 555, then we can have a breakout coming in. So then we can have more upside. So keep a close eye on what is going to happen to Keppel Corp next with the next few candles to give us more clues. Now, certainly, one important thing to note is that we don't want Keppel Corp to break below this support level, which would spell a bearish trend, or rather it would probably lead to some bearish momentum or bearish movement. Okay. Then we have this Sembcorp Marine. Yesterday's gain was erased today, but the good thing to note is that the volume isn't that high. And next is that if it managed to hold above 27 level, we still would have a chance or see the counter have a chance to hit the 23 cent resistance. Okay, so we shall see whether next movement would be where this counter has to really close higher to about 22 cents and then to 23 cents and break up from there to keep its uptrend intact. Now, if this counter fails to move higher and retest 193 support, it could be bearish because it forms a topish pattern and it may continue to move lower. If so, let's look at the projected level. Well, if it failed to break out above and comes down, so you may go back to where it started off with at the 157 level. Next, let's take a look at this tech sector. We see further consolidation in UMS where it couldn't break through above its resistance and where it couldn't break above its resistance and consolidate around this level. So you can see a similarity over here. And if it breaks down this level, which previously is almost the same 134, 133 level, it may continue to go down lower. So for those who are holding UMS, watch out for weakness, especially when it comes to 134 level. Now, of course, if it can go back to 140 and break out from 140 and above 141, we can see a more upward movement towards 150, 154 level. Okay. AEM, similar, as it pull back to support level, it has no strength to rebound up. So every attempt to move up has been, stopped, and we see that this counter hovering around $4, and the support level is at $4 as well, about 398. So if we would break down 398, we may see more selling pressure towards 384. So this is going to be a testing time for AEM. So we want to see a rebound above this level, then it can tell us more upward movement. So AEM has to break above 406 and close with a solid white candle in order to move higher. Venture, we see uncertainty as well, and we can see that there's a lot of upper shadows involved in this movement. So there's also lower highs formed. So the counter, if it tests back this support level at 20.07, then we can see a more downward movement. Of course, the eventual support to break is 19.90. Okay, so watch out, watch out. Now, although we see some weakness in the most of the tech counters, the highlight of the day is in fact Nano Firm, where it has broken out strongly above its resistance at 5.25 and managed to retest its next resistance at 5.47. Okay, due to the good news where it has a new collaboration with Temasek, we managed to go higher. So if we can continue the next day, we may see more upward movement. And of course, if I were to do some estimation, the technical projection is around 6.40. One analyst given target is 6.22. So it's about there. So we want to see that we above 6.22, maybe the next target will be 6.40. Of course, when I say about there is because when you talk about projection, it's never accurate. We can see somewhat lower value, somewhat value that is the stocks traded to that levels, somewhat near that level. Okay, so we want to see that the breakup with a strong volume comes in again, so that it can first hit the milestone of $6, then eventually 6.22 or even higher. Okay. Next is that we want to move to the US stocks. So let's do a study on the index first. So we can see NASDAQ recover, as mentioned last week, that it has moved up towards its resistance, and it has broken out from its resistance and start to pull back. Okay, so can it sustain this high? In fact, if we were to see that NASDAQ tonight breaks below 13780, it may have some more pullback before any rebound were to happen. Now, the resistance now is the new resistance, new minor resistance now is at 14,055 points. Okay, and of course, NASDAQ is not the best performing index. The Dow has been strong, hitting all-time high again and again. Yesterday, it had a pullback, but of course, it hasn't ended the trend as yet. Then we have S&P 500 is still strong as well. Okay, the trend hasn't ended as yet, so we've got to see where it goes. So we do not want it to come to this level. So once it comes to this level, which is around 4119, we may see some change in trend. Same for this Dow. We do not want it to come to around 33,638, and that may lead to a change in trend as well. But of course, all these are still early. We have to see more action in order to determine whether the stocks index is going to change its trend, or it is still going to sustain its upward movement. Okay, a few counters to watch out for. Last night, if you were to notice, most of the stocks had came down, but then there's some green spots. One of the websites that I go to is called FinVix, where it actually gives me the overview of the sectors, which are sectors that are positive, which are sectors that are not positive. Now, if you look at the green ones, these are the positive counters. If you look at the red ones, semiconductors are having a sell down last night, all rates over here. So let's look at these entertainment sectors. Okay, so if you were to look at the FinVix, right? Just now I mentioned the green ones are positive, the red ones are not positive. So you can see that the semiconductors are really not doing well last night. So we have entertainment sectors, Netflix and BIS turned positive, and then we have Apple as well. So I'm interested in looking at the entertainment. So tonight Netflix is going to announce result. I believe it's after market close. So let's take a look at the chart. Okay, so let's go back to the chart and see how Netflix looks like. So if you look at Netflix last night, we managed to close higher, and we are looking at this resistance, which is 559, and the next resistance is 566. If we can break up from this zone, which tonight, if we had a fantastic result riding on the COVID situation, we may see a gap up above this zone, and we would expect this to be resistance around 592 to be resistance. Now, if you look at the DIS, Disney, which is also doing streaming as well, it is consolidating within this tight range, and it needs a breakout to be positive. So we want to see a breakout above this 191 level, and then it has a chance to move to 202 resistance. So watch for the breakout. If it can happen, this will be a window opportunity for you to ride the stocks upwards higher. And of course, tonight, Netflix trading may give some clue of the result. If it were to end positive, it may be a sign of a positive result. But of course, there's no guarantee. I've never seen a counter that have a good positive performance during the day, but at the end of the day, the result wasn't that as good as what we expected. Okay, so if the result isn't that good, it may break below this support at 538, okay, and move down lower. Okay, now the next two counter that I just want to highlight is Goldman Sachs, where the uptrend remains intact. The long-term uptrend remains intact. As you can see, this counter bounce above the 50-day MA and cross back above the 20-day MA. MACD crossover positive, and the resistance to watch is around 355, and above it's around 356. Okay, 355.30. Okay, so it may have a chance to go to that resistance, especially the indicators such as bullishness. Morgan Stanley is holding at its 50-day MA support and trying to move up. If it can move up, then we can see 82 tested, and then once it breaks up from 82, then we have the next resistance at 86. Okay, so why do I highlight these two counter as well? So just to go back to FinVix, you can see that the capital market is the green spot last night as well. So if we see more continuous upward movement, then resistance may be tested. Okay, so this comes to an end to the video. So I hope that it can help you in your market trading, and then of course enjoy the rest of the week. Hope that the market can perform as well as we expected. All right, so thank you for looking at viewing this video, and I'll see you next week.